one thing that you've done well, maybe a superpower would be like, you just have a good tune into what your audience wants or like what they respond to. Like you seem to notice everything that they pick up on and build off of that.
I have, these little beats in, in my content and what I'm doing that definitely resonate. And if something resonates, you know what, I'll double down on it. And that's actually one thing that people, I think that can have fun with, depending on what kind of entrepreneur you are, what your brand is, who you are. What I've found is that people they try and play it safe
Yeah.
in social media, in branding, in entrepreneurship. And there's no reward for playing it safe.
Welcome to Seven Figure Entrepreneur Podcast, number one podcast bringing you behind the scenes with real online earners. No fake gurus here. And today we got the wonderful Tyler Devon as per usual and the wonderful Gregory O'Gallagher. This is going to be good. You guys might know this guy from Instagram, from YouTube, everywhere. You're around, man. You're around.
I've put myself out there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where are you based right now, by the way?
I'm in Toronto, Canada. So
nice. Well, we got three Canucks on the phone.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I'm from
Very
Vancouver.
sweet.
Yeah, man.
In, Vancouver.
Yeah.
Okay, sick. I've been meaning to go to Vancouver. It's the restaurants are open. It sounds like a better life right now.
Dude, yeah, I'm in Florida right now. Actually, I'm living it up.
Okay, sweet.
He's literally gonna give us. He's gonna give us Rona through the fucking.
That's right, COVID Central, baby. But no, man, it's awesome having you on. I know you've definitely, like you said, you put yourself out there, and it seems like it's got traction. For people that don't know you, do you want to kind of explain what you do?
Yeah. So I started my company Kino Body in 2011, and really the goal with it was to teach people how to get into movie star shape. Not just gain muscle, lose fat, but how do you actually look like a movie star, like you see on the, when you see on the film screen. And, within that, it's like, what, for so long, fitness has been this obsession where you have to follow all these crazy strict rules. You can't eat X, Y, and Z. You got to be in the gym every single day, cardio weights. And, the fitness approach to getting great shape that was sublimated was obsessive. And there was no lifestyle there. And, you can't have a drink of alcohol. You can't do this. You can't do that. And I was just like, well, that's not that fulfilling. And I put together a strategy that works like crazy well. How do you actually get lean? How do you get chiseled? How do you put muscle in the right places? And what are the key fundamentals you have to do such that by doing it, you transform? Yes, you can have your cake and eat it too. And
I love
over
cake.
the years, yeah. And, over the years, the metaphor, but you could have cake and eat it too. But over the years, we've seen dramatic transformations, an incredible number of transformations. I've sort of developed like this freaking, these Kino warriors. I call them my transformation students, the Kino warriors. These guys are freaking, they follow the advice to a T. They live the lifestyle. I drink sparkling water. We're all drinking sparkling water during our fast.
I love it.
It's really developed this awesome brand. And then in the last few years, I've taken the brand to the next level. I created a workout supplement. I created a collagen protein supplement. And now we're all doing collagen pancakes, these blueberry muffin collagen pancakes. So the whole brand become a lifestyle. And, we launched a clothing line. So it's become this big brand, really teaching guys and women too, how do you get into movie star shape and how do you have that lifestyle?
Yeah. It's interesting, man. So I've actually bought, I think it was Greek God or something else before. And I love the program. I think it was like a 3 or 4 day workout, God fasting. I still do fasting. I find for mental clarity, it's amazing. I need to order more Kino Octane. I tried it once. It was good. I just kind of fell out of the mix, but like, I think you've done something bigger. I almost think of it like the Rock effect. Like the Rock starts with tequila, it fucking takes off. He launches a movie, it takes off. It seems like you've kind of built this culture that every time you come up with something new, that group of people just wants to be a part of it.
You know what? That is definitely been the effect. Yeah, it's interesting how that's been cultivated, but I'm very selective about, I'm very consistent, and everything I do, like, there's other fitness people that are talking about tons of different things, and they're flip-flopping, they're all over the place. Maybe they're talking about something they barely even do. When I share something, it's like, this is actually like, I fucking love this. This is what I'm actually doing. And if I'm launching a product, it's like, there's a reason I'm doing it. I could launch a million things, but no, I'm doing this because everything else in the market, perhaps it's good, but it's not good enough. Or perhaps like, I want to tweak this shirt so it fits better and it shows the shoulders better. I want to make a better tasting, higher quality collagen protein. I want to make a pre-workout that doesn't have so much stimulant in it. So there's a reason behind it. And then, the Keynote Warriors, they just freaking jump on it.
That's
and
awesome.
it's there is that effect, but it also comes down to like the quality of the product. Like, I could launch bullshit, it's not going to do well.
Yeah.
Especially long term, maybe initially, but not long term. So it's like, you have to like, you have to really put your freaking word behind what you're putting out there.
No doubt.
That's
So
really
you started
cool.
this company, you mentioned, in 2011?
2011, and it wasn't like, I didn't really like start a company in 2011. I got a domain in 2011. I started a blog in 2011. It didn't really, the first 2 years were it was more like that kind of hobby project.
Yeah.
Whereas like, I treated it very seriously. I was putting in a lot of work, but I kind of let it unfold organically. I didn't hire anyone. I didn't put in a bunch of money. I just, it was my passion project. And then, and then by the year 3, I was like, okay, I'm making a full-time income here. This is great. And then year 4 and 5, specifically year 5, 6, it just blew up.
That's awesome, dude. Congratulations.
What made you want to start this? Like, how did you get to that point where you're like, I need to start a fitness company? Or I don't know exactly what you would call it, but how did you get to this point?
I had culture, baby.
I had that, the entrepreneurship thing was sort of in my blood, you could say. I was 19 years old. I did 1 year of university. I didn't love it. It didn't seem like that was the path to success. And I also just did not want to freaking, spend 4 years in lecture halls and classrooms. On much of it, I didn't really find was valuable. I always felt like, to be an entrepreneur and everything, the best education is like in the real world, and you can find the best mentors. They're not going to be at my, my university. I can find the best mentors that have done it online. And I wanted to build something for myself. I didn't want to work for a company. I wanted to be fully in control. I wanted to be in control of, of how much money I could make. But I also wanted to have freedom. But, fundamentally, I really loved fitness. Fitness was my passion. It was what I spent, even when I was 13, 14 years old, I was reading workout programs and books and everything. And so I wanted to put together, my own like fitness protocol. And, at the time there was a void in the marketplace. There was something was missing. There was, you could do bodybuilding workouts, you could do strength and conditioning for sport, yoga, running, etc., CrossFit, etc. But if you wanted to look like an absolute movie star, if you wanted to have that Brad Pitt and Troy look with the round shoulders, the top waist, the definition, not just bulk up and put on 20 pounds and look fat and then try and get to crazy condition for a bodybuilding contest and live like a hermit. If you wanted to look like a movie star and be like, damn, I'm going to go eat steak potato, there wasn't an option for you. And if you wanted to have that movie star look, you want to focus on getting strong, on weighted pull-ups, weighted dips, sprinting, if you wanted to build a powerful physique, but you don't care to be 220 pounds. You don't care to go the bodybuilding route. If you wanted to have that sort of look and, be able to go out on a date with a girl and not have to worry, oh my God, there's nothing on this menu I can have, or I can't have a cocktail. There was nothing for you. And so I kind of went through my own sort of pain points, trying to like really figure out, what is the approach? What is the actual ultimate approach for fitness? I'm not training for a professional sport here. The bodybuilding thing is just not fucking cool. It's just not cool.
Mhm.
It doesn't excite me. It doesn't interest me. And it was like that movie star that was the look, when Ryan Reynolds gets in shape for a movie, when Brad Pitt gets in shape for a movie, it's like, that's the look I'm going for. How do I make it a lifestyle? How do I make myself strong and powerful too? And really it was testing different strategies, learning from some of the best people across, in different arenas of fitness. And, the hardest part was really the fat loss, getting lean.
Interesting.
How do you actually get really lean? Because I found different coaches and experts on how to lose fat, low carb dieting, this and that, and probably to like the number one thing I've created. Yes, I've helped people get super strong and hit PRs each week and get up to 250 incline, 100-pound pull-ups. But like, what is the freaking number one thing that I've created? It's like literally showing people how to get freaking lean, 6-pack abs, and it's effortless. It's just effortless.
Interesting.
It's just boom.
And was
Give
that
me anyone? Yeah,
dude?
No,
So the thing that bridged that gap, was that fasting? Was that kind of what brought it all together to get that fat loss?
fasting is one piece of the pie. It's the fasting is one piece of the pie. It is the proper calorie deficit, not going too low in calories, not going too high, the proper balance of macronutrients. The idea that you have to go low carb or low fat is wrong. It does not matter. In fact, balance is better, especially for your hormonal levels. Really gravitating towards the right foods and even desserts that keep you satiated, keep you satisfied. I know there's certain foods, you can eat anything you want on a diet, and if you're in a caloric deficit, you'll lose weight. But there's certain foods that make it harder to stay in a calorie deficit. There's certain foods that people think are the healthiest foods ever that make it harder to stay in a deficit. There's certain foods that,
Interesting.
you know what, people think, oh, I shouldn't have that. But it's like, no, these potatoes and chocolate are fine. Like, they keep you satisfied by and large. So it's like figuring that out. And there's a psychological element, when we're coaching clients, we have people going through my programs where they need to change sort of their mindset in order to get lean. They need to trust the process. They need to stop freaking obsessing about, oh my God, I got to lose 20 pounds. I got to lose this negative script. And, oh, I still see myself as struggling overweight. It's like, you got to fucking, like, when I do coaching calls, when I have my, new batch of, a few hundred people come through my group coaching program, it's like, once you join this program, like we're changing their self-talk, and we're creating this new image and this new identity. So there's a few different aspects that go into it. It's getting 10,000 steps a day. It's not worrying about trying to do tons of cardio and burn tons of calories. And there's certain cardio exercises will cause you to increase your hunger. It's like 10,000 steps a day, the sweet spot for the calorie deficit, using the perfect level of fast. You're not fasting too much, and then you're hungry. You're more hungry. It's like hitting that sweet spot, using coffee and sparkling water strategically to blunt your hunger. It's hitting those a few lifts a week to maintain muscle, focus on the right proportion. But like, you can literally give me anyone. And I've had people that have tried every single fat loss diet before, everything's been so complicated and strict. And, maybe they got results, but it didn't last, or they couldn't stick to it, or suddenly things stopped working. It worked, and then they got stuck. Then they try and go more extreme. It didn't work. So I've worked with these people, and it's just like people 40 years old, 50, 60 years old, like, so literally
age wasn't an issue.
That's amazing.
No.
Yeah, that's really
super
cool, man.
I feel like you almost found like a hole in the market on a broad scale. Like, at the end of the day, I think you're right. I think people don't want to be bodybuilders, not the average guy, I don't think, anyways. No. Plus, I think standing on stage to have 5 dudes judge me for a minute while I stand in a Speedo is kind of lame. Like, that's just not my cup of tea. Nor dieting for 3 months to get to that point. Like, I'm just not into that. Other people are. That's cool, but it's not for me. But I think it's cool how you kind of were able to find something that was duplicatable and sustainable for dude. So I think that's dope. And then I think another thing, go ahead.
Thank you. Oh no, I was gonna say, yeah, duplicatable, sustainable, and there's a different sort of outlook with it. It's like if you're getting ready for competition, you are suffering for 12 to 16 weeks to look good for one day, and then you're gonna regain weight. My
Yeah.
philosophy is I want you to enjoy every single day to your dream body, to looking like I want you to enjoy each and every day. If you can't enjoy the day, the diet sucks and I failed you. It's like I want you to be able to
Yeah.
enjoy this. And when you get there, I want to show you how to maintain it and enjoy it. Because if you're counting down days like you're freaking serving a freaking 6-month jail sentence, it's not going to be fun.
Yeah. No, not at all, man. That's dope.
And the
I think
one day
people listening to this are going to get fired up.
Yeah,
What's that?
looking good for one day is not worth it. It's not worth it. It's like you want to look good and feel great. I'd rather feel great, look great, but not be as extreme,
Yeah.
for year round than try and hit some crazy condition for one day and then your sex drive plummets and then you rebound and then you're back to square one. It's just not worth it.
It's funny actually. Have you heard of 40 Gym?
Heard of what?
MI40 Gym?
I've heard of that. Yes, I don't know much about it.
So it's a super popular gym. Ben Picalsky started here in Tampa.
Right.
And it's all like, yeah, it's dope. If you ever go down, you got to check it out. But essentially there was this one guy who took his shirt off and he was flexing and stuff. And this huge woman, probably twice the size of me, walks up and she's like, hey, like, you look great. How you feeling? He's like, I feel like shit. She's like, perfect. You're on track then. And I'm like,
wow.
Are you serious? I'm like, that ain't worth it, man. If you have to go through that to look like that, I'm like, I have companies to run. I don't have time for shit like this.
No, and that will deplete your energy and your freaking your ambition and your drive to and willpower to build your company. So that won't work.
Yeah, man. The other thing I wanted to point out to you too, or point out just in general, when you were talking about like, how you want to do your own thing, I mentioned, or I heard you say the word control quite a bit. You're like, I want control over my life. And like one thing I kind of find with people, especially now with this whole COVID thing happening, people losing their jobs, like I never trust anyone else to be in control of my future. Like having a job and it sounds like you're the same, is fucking risky, bro. Like if someone else is in control of my destiny, how much I can make, what I can do, like that scares me. I think having my own control over my life is a better situation at the end of the day.
Yeah, no, I agree, 100%.
Yeah. But one thing I wanted to transition was kind of into the business side now. So like the world that Gabe and I come from, we run a lot of Google ads, a lot of Facebook ads, and our companies are very like ad dependent. Like I think the biggest day we spent in one day was like 90 grand on Facebook ads in one day.
Yeah.
Which is a lot, but it also produces maybe like a 20% margin, you know what I mean? Which is great. But at the same time, we're not really building a brand. Everything we do is lead generation and builds other people's brands, where you've built kind of your own brand. And so I feel like I wanted to understand kind of like, as far as, I don't want to dive too deep into the actual numbers if not comfortable sharing, but like as far as profit margins and stuff, and obviously you have hard goods as well, but even on your digital stuff, do you find that you get a lot of reach of organic traffic, just kind of the way you approach your business?
I get a decent amount of organic traffic. I definitely like paid traffic, and I think that paid traffic, if you do it right, can be the biggest win. But my Instagram is a big audience, and a big, big resource, email list, blog. I'm not doing as much YouTube anymore. I kind of, my YouTube years are kind of behind me. But
what was the reason for the transition on that?
I just stopped. I just put out so many YouTube videos. It just didn't really feel like it, to be honest. Like it just, I'd rather build my business in a different way. There's different ways to build your business. In 2024, I like doing little day in life vlogs and talking about intermittent fasting and share my workout stuff. And it was just not who I am anymore. So, now we're putting more energy into developing an app, making the programs better, working on the coaching, growing our paid traffic and stuff like that. So being a YouTuber just didn't really fit for me anymore. I could potentially, it could be beneficial, but it's just like, I'm rather do my brand a certain way.
It's very time consuming.
So it sounds like more of, I was going to say, it sounds like more of a personal choice than a business choice.
Yeah, it's more of a personal choice, but then I guess on the business realm, it's like, you know what? You can't do everything.
Yeah.
There's a million different things you can do, and you can't do them all. So, there's a case to put that energy somewhere else.
Mhm.
No doubt.
But we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you
And you
dove
have
into
to.
TikTok at all?
Yeah, yeah, I have. TikTok's interesting. Like it's for me, it's just like, I've built like I think 500,000 followers on it. Um, but again, like some videos I'll do will get like millions of views, and then some videos will kind of just get like 30,000. So it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Instagram for me is more consistent. Like I know if I put a post
Gotcha.
out, I'm
Mhm.
gonna reach this many people. I'm gonna get 100 and 200,000 plus views or whatever. I can launch a program product, and I can sell this certain level. TikTok is more just kind of random, and I don't know
Mm.
how powerful it is for monetizing my products. I think Instagram is better, but TikTok is way easier to grow on.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I think that kind of what we've heard and seen is that a lot of people try and grow on TikTok because it's easy growth, and then they like do call to actions basically via lives or via videos and move those people over to Instagram, and then that's where the sale actually will happen.
Hmm.
Um,
That's a smart strategy. Yeah.
yeah.
Very, very smart.
I also heard that IG lately is really rewarding Reels because they're kind of pissed that TikTok's getting all the action these days. So they're
Hmm.
growing Reels quite a bit and making the natural growth on those a lot better.
Yeah, you know what? You know your stuff. Yeah, Instagram Reels are that's like posting on Instagram in whatever 2015, you know.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Um, but I don't find you get the same growth. Like Reels, you can get some good views and visibility, especially to your own audience, but TikTok will still get you more followers than
Yeah.
Instagram Reels, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
No
That's cool
doubt.
though. So
Mhm.
you're so you stopped advertising on YouTube, or did you just stop producing YouTube
Oh,
content?
I stopped producing consistent YouTube content.
Gotcha. Do you still advertise on YouTube, or did you?
Uh, we're doing some Google ads and
Nice.
YouTube ads. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Um,
As
out
far
of all the like
as
paid traffic, sorry, what were you saying, Tyler?
exactly where you're going now.
Out of all the paid traffic, what do you find is probably the most beneficial in terms of return on investment and type of client?
So far, it's been, Facebook ads.
Mhm.
But we've had like crazy success on Facebook ads like last spring, summer.
Do you
Right
mean
now we're working
Facebook and
on,
Instagram or just Facebook?
Facebook and Instagram. It gets sort of split between those for us. So I actually,
Gotcha.
it's funny enough, like, we're doing well on the Facebook side of things.
Oh,
Um,
crazy.
but yeah, but we haven't scaled to like a super high level right now. At our highest, we were spending like 200K a month. But I'm working on with some new Facebook guys on scaling again. But yeah, you know what? Paid traffic it's like paid traffic is one of those things where it's like really important. If
Hmm.
you can get it
Mhm.
done well, it can freaking scale your business pretty
Mhm.
fast. So that's actually one of the things I'm working on in my company.
Nice.
Do you run any of the paid stuff yourself, or do you bring on like agencies or guys in house to manage that?
Yeah, so I don't do it myself. Yeah, we've worked with an agency now. I have someone that's doing my clothing ads that's doing pretty well. So he's more so an in-house kind of person.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I've done both. And then also like the thing to understand is that yeah, a year ago, like pretty much last May, I took over Kino Body, and for the 3 or 4 years before that, I was in a business partnership where I built the programs, I did the content, I created the ad content, and I was basically the Gregor Gallagher of the brand, but they ran the business, they ran the ads, they ran X, Y, and Z. And then, so I've actually took over the company last May. And so I've been getting more involved in these areas. So actually I wasn't super involved in running the company or I wasn't necessarily the number one person. Like I wasn't running the company to the extent I am for the 3 years prior to that.
Gotcha. Since taking it over, has there been any things that like you were like, oh man, I didn't realize that went on? Or for the most part, has the transition been pretty seamless?
Yeah, you know what? It's been a lot more fun, you know, just to kind of be way more involved than just, than just kind of doing the content, having to film the new ads, launching the new programs. It's like it's actually a lot more fun and fulfilling getting involved in the whole business. And I guess it's like, it's the big learning lesson is really learning how to sort of build teams, build a great team and all that. So it's just been honestly just a lot more fulfilling, and then it's been like a nice challenge in other ways. Yeah. It's been going really well.
That's awesome, man.
And then, I'm also a very, very, very incentive driven person. Nobody responds to incentive as much as me. So, so I like when
you're an entrepreneur, man.
Yeah. So like now that I've taken it over and my incentive is much higher, and I'm much more in control, and I can, it makes me just, it works for me. I like it, and I get, I put in that 110%. But if for me, the path and the incentive isn't clearly there and laid out, someone else is kind of controlling things, controlling expenses and all that, then I'm not the same it's not the same fire. So definitely, for anyone, I think anyone listening about being an entrepreneur is like, I think one of the big things is, how much do you respond to incentive? If someone, it's like, you just want to get that consistent, and you're not going to, if someone tells you can make more, but you're like, you're not going to work that much harder. It's like, you're probably not like, you're probably not necessarily going to be the best entrepreneur. That's what I at least find. Then, it's also, as an entrepreneur, it's also good to kind of realize that for your team and everything, they respond to incentive too. And so you have to kind of balance that.
One of the biggest things I think when you're an entrepreneur, one of the most important people to know is yourself. Like if you're incentive driven, that's great. For me, one thing I love seeing is other people in my team succeed. And I had people that when they started with me, they were making nothing. And now, last year they'll make $250,000, $300,000, where before that they're maybe 50, 60, 70 grand in a year. So to see that transition, how that affects them, how it affects their family, like the stuff they're doing in their life now, it's so cool to see that transformation. And that's what drives me, to push and continue to grow. So it's been really cool. But I think, like, again, knowing about yourself, what drives you, what motivates you, and also what the opposite side of that, what you fucking hate. Like, let's do less of that and focus more on where we bring the value at the end of the day. So I think that's super important to know when you're doing your own thing.
Yeah, 100%.
As far as what you're doing with the brand now and where you're thinking about the brand's going to be in 5 years, do you kind of have like a roadmap you're going after, or how's that kind of look for you?
Yeah. So, essentially I'm just working on turning it a bit more into like a business, that's streamlined and that's not so much dependent on me and, Instagram content and launches and this and that. So interestingly enough, what has been the biggest success in my company in the last year or so, it's been the Octane and the collagen, the supplements. They've just been that part of the business that is growing month over month.
That's awesome.
And everyone's loving it. But like, every single month, we have most of our sales on subscription, and every single month, as long as we're in stock, which has been an issue in the past, but we're in stock now, as long as as long as the inventory is there, we are consistently growing, pretty much every month. So really, right now, like the goal is a couple of things. It's like, one, it's like, you know, I have my supplement line, I have my programs, I have the clothing line. And like, you know, I think one of the best things if you're growing a company or you're an entrepreneur is really just to listen. It's listen to your customers. What do your customers
Mm-hmm.
want? What are they saying? What are they telling you? As have 10 people told you the same thing, you know, then you better listen. And so the thing I'm working on right now is the app. People want, they love the programs, they love the workouts, they want to do it in an app. And so I don't want to just create a simple app. Like I want to create something that's like, I want to create something that's freaking awesome. People are like, holy, like this is this needs to be out. This makes things better. So we're putting together an app that just makes going through the programs and the tracking and the progressing super dialed in. But then you also get the Kino Warrior community. You can follow new Kino Warriors around the world, share your hit different standards on the lifts.
That's
so we're
cool.
building the app, but that's also going to connect the Kino Warriors together. It's going to make following the programs better. And then it's also going to, you know, tie in the supplements, the clothing line, so they can go on the app, they can get their new wardrobe, they can get their refill their octane. And then, you know, once we kind of migrate the Kino Warriors to the app, then it's like, okay, I don't need to like do so much Instagram content. And then it's gonna, you know, we're trying to get those network effects where basically, because this community is so awesome, the more people that join, the better. And then they tell people, and then it just turns into this awesome community. That's pretty much number one. And then really like putting the pedal down on the octane and collagen subscriptions, and really
Nice.
that will probably be a bit more of, you know, my focus on growing the company, and even with the content I do. And the advertising is, you know, let's get the supplements to $2 million a month, mostly on subscription. Let's bring out new flavors of octane. Let's get ambassadors involved. We're going to do an ambassador program with my Kino Warriors, where they can be incentivized to get their friends on the products.
Nice.
And then, you know, probably bring on some other you know, strategic sort of influencers to get involved with the octane and collagen. So it's like, really, there's really two simple paths, and one path is taking the program to a freaking another level with an awesome app. And then the second one is really like allowing the Kino Warriors to be incentivized to build the community and take the octane and collagen and make it bigger than Gregor Gallagher, make it its own, you know,
That's awesome.
thing.
That's smart.
And
man.
then, you know, yeah. And so like, I know I've been doing this since I was 19. I'm going to be 30 in September. So it's like, I just kind of want to kind of finish the app, you know, grow this to the next level. I'm building some really awesome coaches that are really good. And then, you know, hopefully move out of it.
Yeah.
You know, step away from it, steps they can get out of the, you know, the front, you know, get out of get out of the front facing position. So that's something that actually, you know, I wouldn't have thought I'd want, but when I was younger, but now I'm like, you know what, I would be very, very okay with that. I would not complain about that.
What you got any horror stories that you want to share, just about, like, obviously being the face of something has its pros, but it also has its cons?
Yeah, you know what, that's hard to, I'm trying to think, you know, it hasn't been that, it hasn't really been that bad. It's been mostly a positive thing. Having, you know, Kino, like, you know, the thing is, like, Kino Body has gone and freaking, 1 second.
Oh, no, that's fine. You're back. You're back.
Okay, sorry, my connection
just
interrupted.
That's all good. You just froze for a second.
Yeah. So, okay, shoot. So so to be honest with you, absolutely, you know, putting out YouTube videos, being like a big figure on intermittent fasting. And I have a lot of the videos I've done on TikTok have gone in crazy. It's me punching Bob, and they've gotten 20 million views, 8 million views.
Yeah.
So I've definitely put myself out. I've definitely put myself out there, and it's absolutely been a net positive. I've been able to, you know, really meet some awesome people. It's definitely opened lots of incredible doors that have benefited me in different ways to this day, and probably going forward. So it's really elevated me into position to net, and the types of people that have followed Kino Body, the types of people that have done my programs, that have transformed their body, they're all walks of life, like very, very, very high level entrepreneurs, different celebrities. And so it's definitely, and I've made friends through certain areas. And so it's really opened lots of doors. So I definitely wouldn't change anything. But there was a time when I think like my limelight moment was like when I was like 25, 26, my YouTube was taken off and all that. But there was a time where I'd go to the bar and I get approached 6-7 times in a bar. Literally in Toronto, in LA. It was like, you would not expect that. Oh, the guy's got, he's got 500,000 followers, you would not expect it, but it was ridiculous. It was crazy.
Just
I'd be on a
approached by
date with
random people or girls or only guys or
mostly guys, or sometimes they get like a really, really hot girl and I was like, oh my God, my ex-boyfriend loves Kino Body.
Yeah. I can just imagine the thirsty chick sliding into your DM, man. Cause like most of the shit you do is with your shirt off and you look like a Greek god. I can't imagine the shit you get.
You know what? It would sound insane, but you know what? Most of my audience, 75% is male.
Nice.
It's not, I do get those, but like not, it's like, a hot girl with 15,000 followers will get more, hit up more, get more DMs.
Fair enough.
But you definitely do get that. But you know what? I think the attention has always been not like, it's not necessarily been too much of an issue. But you do get that, like, somebody that you meet, they already have this freaking pre-built who you like, they already figured out who you are. Oh, this is boom. And then when you are, especially like, I haven't been living in LA where there's where everyone has got tons of different like, everyone's sort of a figure-ish. There's so many different, but like in Toronto, it's not like that. So it's like, then like, it's a bit different. I'd say, like, with the followers, there's people build up this whole image about you, and then so that's the only thing. It's like, oh, it'd be kind of be cool to just like not to just kind of start from scratch, like start from a clean slate, but again, I'm not trying to like that. It's just interesting. I'm just observing it, but absolutely, it's been totally like a net positive. And very, 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 very good.
Well, that's good, man. We have friends who have like pretty big followings and stuff, and they've had a lot of pros, but they've had some bad cons. Like one's a pretty popular public speaker, and I guess the police showed up to one of his events, and someone in the audience had something in a needle that they were going to inject into his neck to knock him out. And lock him in the basement. Yeah. Anthony's got a good story on that. So he used to travel around with security for a while. Like, there's a lot of issues we know other people have had, but they were also on stages, maybe a little more accessible. Maybe, the fact that you're behind the camera is a good thing. But yeah, man, that's good. It's helped in more ways than the opposite, for sure.
Yeah. I would say like 90, I'd say the mass majority of people that might recognize you are like pretty chill. There's definitely a few weirdos there, but that's like anything. But that is scary that they were planning on doing that. That has not happened to me,
That's good, man. People are probably more afraid. This guy was a skinny guy from the South, so I guess maybe they thought he could take him, but
I've seen the way you beat on Bob. I think that someone would have a tough time abducting you.
The Bob shit there, I put it out there, just say, hey,
that's right.
Don't fuck with me. That's awesome.
Have you gone
crazy
through?
mode? What was that?
Have you gone through more than one Bob? Because you beat the hell out of that thing.
Gone through a few Bobs. I've spent spent quite a bit of money on Bobs. I'm actually planning on getting like 2 or 3 Bobs, all like kind of side by side, just to kind of rotate.
Nice.
But no, I do. Yeah. The Bob is, and that's interesting, is that I bought a Bob for myself to train on. And then I was like, you know what, like, you know, it's cool. I'm building my company, but it's cool to show kind of people what I'm doing, different aspects. I'm working on some boxing or kickboxing. So I posted some content and people really liked it. And
Yeah.
then, you know, and then like one of the things I do like with training is like, you know, I'll just train, but then sometimes I like to just go full out, like fucking
Yeah.
15 seconds, like someone just freaking, like I'm just
Yeah.
trying to take this person out. And there's something very, very, I think, addicting about watching someone just fucking go into like sort of, it seems like they're in rage mode, just freaking trying to kill
Yeah.
this rubber dummy. And so my audience started loving it. And so I was like, hey, you know what? This is going to become a theme in my content where every couple weeks I'm going to freaking attack Bob. And
so
like a psychopath, like I'm literally trying to kill this person.
Yeah.
You know, so it's been, that's kind of how the Bob thing kind of fit in.
You know,
That's
it's
dope,
interesting, man, and I could be wrong on this. I feel like one thing that you've done well, maybe a superpower, would be like you just have a good tune into what your audience wants or like what they respond to. Like you seem to notice everything that they pick up on and build off of that. Like the Bob thing, kind of what you were mentioning with the supplements, like the app. Like you just have your, it seems like you have your ear to the ground, which is amazing.
You know what? I think, yeah, there might be something to that. I have, you know, these little beats in, you know, in my content and what I'm doing that definitely resonate. And if something resonates, you know what, I'll double down on it. And like, you know, there was this article that was written about me on a site called Natty or Not. It was actually a really well written, funny article, but it was like 5 reasons why a Kino Body lookalike is banging your girl. And and, and it was pretty hilarious. And one of the reasons, like the third or something reason, was because he has the fuck me now physique. And I've never heard that, the fuck me now physique. And so in my Instagram content, I was joking around with it. I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm teaching people how to build the fuck me. And then everyone was commenting, they're DMing me, girls are DMing me like, oh my God, that's so funny. And so we started like using the fuck me now physique and people love it. So it's like, find those little like these little terminologies that people like, you know, and that's actually one thing that people, you know, I think that can have fun with, depending on what kind of entrepreneur you are, what your brand is, who you are. But it's like, I started using a term called like no pish posh to like describe bullshit in fitness. Like, hey guys, we're not doing that pish posh. And people started loving it. We did no pish posh hats. People loved it. So it's for me, what I found is that people they try and play it safe in social media, in branding, in entrepreneurship, and there's no reward for playing it safe. You know, there's no risk either. But it's like, if you're trying to actually get attention, if you're actually trying to freaking get someone to stop and be like, and laugh and just connect with you for a second, you have to be a little polarizing and you have to own it and you have to be a little controversial. That's my big video that came out that put Kino Body on the main fucking stream, was the Bruce Wayne video, where I took this, you know, I was getting so many awesome transformations from my clients. I was putting up these sort of informative videos on fasting, on my philosophy, but there's a lot of content. But I wanted one piece where I could show this to someone. I could show someone this 3-minute video that would captivate them, and they would be like, okay, I get how this works. I get what Kino Body is. I get what the philosophy is. And so the idea was, let me take a very similar stylized script to American Psycho and his morning routine, and let me combine that or contrast that with Bruce Wayne visuals, you know, mansion, Lamborghini, model, as I go, but like it's just shown. It's like not like just like it's just in the background as I go through my fasting and my training, and I monologue sort of my beliefs. And that was polarizing. That was completely polarizing.
Would you say that was the launch pad where you start getting real like a lot more traction?
Yeah, like Kino Body was already doing extremely well. Like that, we were already at, hitting around, we're already at 7 figures a year. That definitely catapulted us pretty we and that actually was one of our best Facebook ads and Google ads of all time. So that we were ripping that content just on Facebook ads, YouTube ads, and it was just everyone and their mother was seeing it. I remember.
How long did it stay up for?
We ran that one for a couple of years, but for like the first 6 months, it was just like nonstop. I was in a Starbucks, and there was three girls all like laughing over at the computer, and I didn't think like I was like, that's weird, like, you know, they're looking over at me and laughing, and then one of them came up to me and was like, oh my god, are you in that commercial with like like, are you in that like that YouTube commercial? Because like they didn't even know like I was selling a product, and I was like a fitness guy. They just thought I'm just in some commercial on YouTube, like
Hilarious.
And I was like yeah. But it was like, that's how. And I would even because it was like the video was called The Real Bruce Wayne, and I'd watch. And this is like, I think I like the actual like recognition on the street. I think it peaked back then. Not as, it's more chill now, but like I would walk down Toronto at night when it's 11 o'clock and people are drunk, and then guys would be like, it's the real Bruce Wayne. So it was pretty crazy. But that video put me on the map. And again, it's like, it wouldn't have worked as well if I didn't do the drone shot in 2015 and just be doubled down. I fast for 8 hours. It's just so polar. So I've learned that the more I stick to the being different and owning it, the better. And the more you try and just kind of trying to play it safe, it's like, no, people don't like. I tried to push a whole movement a couple of years ago, Natty Verified. How do we actually get these fitness people tested to find out if they're natural or not, if they're selling programs and claiming natural? And I put this whole movement together to try and create some sort of testing federation and everything. And like freaking everyone is going crazy. This guy is fucking shitting on the fitness industry for, being a bunch of, drug taking fitness guys, using, taking steroids, claiming natural to try and sell their coaching plans. And that movement freaking went like wildfire. Unfortunately, it never really came to fruition. There's a lot of sort of obstacles trying to run this, and you'd have to go through Olympic committees, and then you'd have to somehow enter a federation. So it was a logistical nightmare. But the actual content that we were pushing to try and get it taken off blew up across the world.
That's
and then
awesome.
There was another little I got in some little heat, little bit of like a little drama battle with this other fitness guy where, people, there's people that talk shit, but he just kind of kept hitting it. And we just fucking destroyed him, made his name out of a coupon code. I was like, John, you don't need those roids if you got Kino Body, so we're making you the coupon code 50% off. Anyone else watching, you can fucking type in John Skywalker, whatever. And we did like 100K plus that day.
Yeah. I think I saw that feud, and I think I saw like a bunch of people ripping into you saying you were on juice and shit. I think it was a huge thing.
You know what? That I've gotten the accusations more in the past. But that feud that I wasn't getting any accusations. His thing was like, it's so funny because I'll get people that say, oh dude, your physique is insane, you post on YouTube, for sure you're using stuff, and I don't. But then I'll get people say, oh, you've been training for 20 years and that's how you're only 180 pounds, like that's shit. So you get these two contrasting things. So funny. With that feud, it was focused on the, oh, you're skinny, you're only 107. I think when I was like I was 180, you're 180 pounds, Skywalker's 220. So it's just like, so I get the two contrasting things. But yeah, on that time, it was interesting because what actually happened was there was some other interesting pieces in that story that actually really helped me fucking crush him. But but he was just sending me fucking followers, and he was sending me balls. And I've never gotten involved in like sort of a public dispute before, just because it's just not my thing. I don't care. But like your followers light up. If there's drama, there's tension, people light up. And people that, all of a sudden my story views went from like 30,000 or 35,000 to 80,000. Wow. My content engagement just doubled overnight. because people like love drama, but I never tagged him. I never sent people over to him. He just sent them flying over to me. And I was just like, okay,
then, huh?
you know, story. But I just freaking showing proof. I'm like showing as soon as he sent them over, I'm like, look at this guy, transformation, screenshot of someone saying, hey, I followed both of you. I like you more. This John, X, Y, and Z. I just started controlling the narrative and just owning it. And then, you know, I made one of our, at that point, that was one of our most successful days.
Dude, that's amazing. That's really cool.
Yeah, man.
Are you going to do anything else like this in the future? You got any plans for more big things like that, or like the Batman, real life Bruce Wayne?
I'm gonna have to think. Right now, I think I want to, you know, right now we're building the app, getting some ducks in a row, but that's pretty much going to be done in a few months. We'll see. It's just, the thing is, it's just not who I am to go and start drama just for attention. It's just not what I'm like. But in that case, it's just like he was ripping into me about 3 or 4 times, and my followers like, hey, you see what this guy said? And I was like, and then I was like, okay, you know, I was like, I know how to deal with this one. I know how to deal with this one.
I love it,
you
man.
know? So,
that's so funny.
So I haven't actually had much anything since then. I feel like people are like, okay, you know what? I've seen what's happened to the last guy.
Greg might go hard.
Greg just fucking destroyed him, put 150K in his pocket from it. So you know what? Let's just let him do his keynote. So we'll see. I don't think we'll see if anything happens. But you know, I've been maturing and just kind of focusing more on the big picture and
smart, man.
and less on the less on the social media, less on the YouTube stuff. It just hasn't really been like the thing, you know, the thing for me. You know, also I'm trying to build a company into 8 figures and beyond. So it's like the amount of subscribers and growth that I would have to get on YouTube to actually be a freaking prime mover in my business goals is a lot. And the amount of energy I have to put into it, and like, you know, it's a lot of unknowns about like, you know, paid traffic. You can build a whole funnel campaign and boom, you get, you know, you start to get profitable, you can scale, and there's a path to financial success. With YouTube content, it's not as clear cut.
Makes sense.
So
YouTube content.
Yeah, no
one of my
doubt.
buddies has a huge YouTube channel. I think they're around 3 mil now, but they've transitioned over to doing the Facebook in-stream videos, and they're getting they're beating their results financially on Facebook versus YouTube. And the growth from it is insane as well. So I'm not sure if that's something you're looking into or not, but it's a really fast growing thing.
Or paid content on Facebook.
It's organic.
Wow, in stream.
There's a proper word for it, like Facebook creator or something. I forget what it's called. But the videos are shorter. I think they're like under 7 minutes, 5 minutes or so. And because Facebook wants to compete with YouTube, they're just pushing it so hard.
Okay, I'll have to check that out, you know?
Yeah. So
that very cool.
You get paid on CPM
like
too
that.
on it. Like if you're putting out good content, like the CPMs on it you get are absolutely insane too. Like if that's another stream of revenue you're going after. But either way, the content just gets shared like crazy.
Right. Okay, very cool. Sounds like you guys got some awesome discoveries going on. Pick your brain some more after this. After in the next couple of weeks. So
yeah, for sure. Man. We're always around.
We try to keep a good beat on what's going around too, and try everything ourselves. Like I'm actually just about to launch a radio ad just to see how that does. None of my competitors are doing it, so I want to see what happens, especially with how things have transitioned online. Some of the offline media, like the traditional stuff, has been way more cost effective than it's ever been. I've even done some postcards and stuff, so it's been interesting. But yeah, there's always new things popping up, man. Like Gabe said with the Facebook, or even like TikTok. We had a guy on here, King Credit, Jan, awesome dude, young guy. He's maybe 24, literally travels the world doing travel hacks. But what he does is he teaches people how to like use credit and stuff. But he does exactly what we were mentioned earlier. He builds his audience on TikTok, moves us to Instagram, and does all his selling on Instagram. And he's just a young guy, went from doing nothing to doing, I think, over $1 million in course sales in like a year, just with a simple formula, and all organic, no paid cost whatsoever. So it's the opportunities. Now there's never been so much opportunity, I think, ever in history than like literally right now, because you can do anything with your iPhone.
100%. No, it's very, very, very cool. Yeah.
Yeah. One thing Tyler forgot to mention about that though is the radio ad is actually just a dating ad for him as Tampa's most eligible bachelor. It has zero. It's nothing to do with work or making money. It's just trying to get laid.
If you can hit two birds with one stone, you throw that stone. You know,
you do what you got to do, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Growing your business, hit me up. And also, I am single for the ladies.
Here's my Snapchat.
Yeah.
Here's my Snapchat,
We actually, we know a guy, we won't mention his name, but what he would do is every time he'd go to a new city, because he did a lot of speaking, he would advertise in that city, most eligible bachelor in XYZ city. And then the article would just be his own article that he wrote, and it would be all about him. And literally, like, girls would add him to Snapchat, and he'd have like 2, sometimes 3 dates a night. And this was his whole thing. Every time he went to a new city, his assistant would set up the campaign. So we thought it was pretty funny that he like masterminded this whole thing. Like, you know what I mean?
It was like an online article that he would advertise.
Yeah, about himself. And it would be, say, if he was speaking in San Antonio, it would be most eligible bachelor in San Antonio. And he had 3 or 4 days, so he would just maximize his time there.
Oh my God. Wow. Good for him.
That's commitment. That's fucking commitment.
That's a lot of commitment. That's a lot of a lot of commitment. I guess
he's a crazy dude.
The dating apps didn't do the trick, but most eligible. That's a lot of work. Good for him.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's funny.
Transitioning back to the business side, one thing I've been meaning to ask you: would you ever take your products and put in actual stores?
Yeah, that's a good question. I've thought about that. Definitely, I would. I think that right now we're trying to hit some goals first that we want to do with just online, and then we want to get in a stronger position to go and start those conversations.
Nice.
But I think that like right now we're getting solid growth organically. Our biggest challenge was sort of like our growth was pretty fast, that we'd run out of inventory and then not restock. So once we're really dialed in, boom, we're consistent, and then we can start to go into stores. That would be good. Obviously, going in the store, obviously if you're crushing it with your ads and your organic content and growing, that's going to be more profitable than selling to a store at wholesale. But there's definitely been I'm definitely gonna have to open those conversations and probably chat with someone that has done that successfully, taken the product and put it in stores. So I think that's probably a mentor that I want to keep my eyes open for.
No doubt. I did hear I was at a GNC in Denver one time, and there was like some huge display at the front, and I forget if it was like a pre-workout or energy drink or something, but it was like this whole stand and there was just a couple left. I'm like, what is this? I've never heard of this. He's like, honestly, it's just something that blew up on Instagram and people were hitting us up. So we started like just buying it direct. And so it's kind of interesting to see like if products get enough exposure and their customers are asking for it, like ultimately they're going to want to carry it too.
I think Keno Octane, perhaps even call it the Keno Collagen, it could be at that point pretty soon. Because
that's awesome.
Like the word has been around about it. It's buzzing. So I should definitely look at the right way to go about doing that.
Yeah, no, it's definitely an interesting market. You're actually your audience too. Like, is it mostly just US and Canada, or do you have like people over on the other side of the pond buying?
Yeah, so US is number one, and then we have a good chunk in Canada, UK, Australia, and then pretty much everywhere else, especially for the digital sales. Like, we have people every single country imaginable pretty much. But again, like the vast majority are North America, and and UK, Australia, and funny enough, like Mexico is really big.
Oh, nice.
We're big in Mexico and India,
Yeah.
but we're really, really big in Mexico.
That's awesome.
Cool.
And any idea how many courses you've sold, like collectively?
Yeah. We've sold over 500,000 now.
Wow.
That's a lot.
So, but that's that's like since 2015 or so.
Yeah.
But we've sold 500,000. We spend a lot on ads too. We spend a lot of money on millions. But yeah, pretty crazy. 500,000 program customers. All in the last 6 years.
Yeah, man. Just 500,000 customers in general is like a pretty unreal stat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty,
That's cool.
if I would have freaking made my program some more of like a subscription angle, I would be, I would be 10 times richer.
Yeah. Is the app going to be subscription?
People just paid $47 once, got in great shape, and we're like, oh, amazing, Oh,
I'm
great.
Jack now. I don't need you. Yeah.
Is your app going to be subscription?
What?
Sorry. Is your app going to be subscription?
Yeah, I'm going to think about it. My customers are very, very price sensitive. They love getting amazing value. We obviously have a subset doing higher price coaching, but probably what we're going to do is everyone that's got the program, they're going to get 6 months free access to the app or something, 3 to 6 months free access. And then it might be like, $97 a year or something. But we're going to make it, everything we try and do, we try and really maximize the value. So better and cheaper than competitors.
That's awesome, dude.
Cool.
So
especially with that back end you built.
Yeah. Well, we're getting to the hour mark here. Should we wrap it up?
Sure.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, no.
Great to have you on, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a blast. Thanks for having me on.
No problem. If anybody wants to find you online, what's the best way for them to do it?
What won't be possible?
So two spots. My website, kinobody.com, KINO body.com, and definitely check me out. Follow me on Instagram at Greg O'Gallagher. That's where I'm, the most consistently active, and sharing fun content and awesome, instructive content too. So those are the two spots, Kino Body and my Instagram.
Awesome.
All right. Thanks everyone for listening today. For everyone watching, please do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube. And for everyone listening, give us a 5-star review on iTunes, Spotify, or Stitcher. Yeah. All right, guys. See you on the next one.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.